Today we're going to take a look at factoring ax squared plus bx plus c. The important thing to note here is the fact that there will be a number in front of x squared. So if you are trying to factor something that does not have a number in front of x squared, then you'll want to watch the video on factoring x squared plus bx plus c without the a. So on today's factoring, when there will be a number in front of x squared, we will use the method called slide and divide. Now we're going to run through these steps, but it may not make much sense till we actually start working the problems. So to begin with, step one is where we get the name slide from. We are to take the coefficient in front of x squared, that would be our a, and multiply it to the constant. The constant would be our c. So the first thing we're going to do is take a and multiply it to c, and then two, we're going to rewrite the problem because once we've taken a and multiplied it to c, the a is no longer there. And so we have a new problem, and we're going to factor that new problem. Then in step three, once we have our factors, we're going to divide our answer by the coefficient that we multiplied by in step one. Well, the coefficient was the a. And so we're going to, if we multiplied by a, now we're going to divide by a. And then the last step is if we are left with a reduced fraction, then move the denominator over in front of the variable. So like I said, I don't really expect this to make much sense until we start working a problem. And to help us out, I'm going to leave our steps over on the left. That way we can see how all this is connected. So it's asking us to factor 3x squared minus 11x minus 4. So step one says that we are to take the coefficient in front of x squared, that would be 3, and we're going to multiply it over to the negative 4. So when I do that, and this is slide, we're going to slide that 3 over to the negative 4. I'm going to rewrite this. This is now step 2. X squared minus 11x minus 12. So we've taken the 3 and we slid it over to the constant, which was negative 4, and we created a brand new problem. Now we're going to factor this brand new problem. Now this is what we did in the last video. So we're going to take the factors of negative 12, and let me switch colors here, and negative 12 would be negative 1 and 12, or 1 and negative 12. And we can continue listing all those factors, but we're looking for the one of these factors that add up to be negative 11. Well, I see right here that 1 plus negative 12 is negative 11. So that would be our answer. So we're going to take my factors and we're going to write them in two binomials. So we're going to write x plus 1 and x minus 12. Okay, that's step two, is we took our new problem and we factored it. Now step three, this is where the divide comes in. You divide your answer by the coefficient that we multiplied in step one. In step one, we multiplied this 3 right here. So now I'm going to go by and I'm going to divide my answer by 3. So I'm going to take both of these and I'm going to divide them by 3. Well, that leaves me with x plus 1/3. It doesn't reduce, so it's just x plus 1/3. And negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So step 3, we divided by our a, which was 3. And step 4 says if we're left with a reduced fraction, which we are, then we move the denominator, which is my 3, over to the variable. And we get 3x plus 1. And then we still have our x minus 4. And these are our two factors. If we were to go back and do FOIL, then this would give me 3x squared. The outside would give me minus 12x. The inside would give me plus 1x. And last would give me minus 4. If I combine my two middle ones, I end up with 3x squared minus 11x minus 4. which is what we started with. So this right here is definitely my answer. And this is called slide and divide. So let's take a look at another one. Okay, so we're going to start off by taking the 2. We're going to slide it over to our constant and rewrite it. So this gives me x squared minus 9x plus 20. Now we're taking this new problem and we're going to factor it. So I need my factors of 20 that come out to equal negative 9. So 1 times 20, negative 1 times negative 20. Okay, those don't work. We've got 2 times 10, that would make 12. Negative 2 times negative 10 would make negative 12. We've got 4 times 5 is 9, but I need negative 9, so that would mean negative 4 times negative 5 is going to be my factors. That equals negative 9. So we're going to go x minus 4 and x minus 5. Okay, so that's the end of step 2. Step 3, divide my answer by the coefficient we multiplied by in step 1. Well, in step 1, I multiplied by this 2. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to divide my answers by 2. Well, this gives me x minus 2, and then x minus, and 5 over 2 does not reduce, so we leave it like that. Step 4 says if you are left with the reduced fraction, then move the denominator over in front of the variable. So my denominator is going to move over here, and we'll end up with x minus 2, and then the 2 comes in front of the x to make 2x minus 5. And that's our answer. Okay, taking a look at another one. And once again, just like on the previous factoring, this just takes a lot of practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So starting with step 1, we take our a and we multiply it to our constant. So x squared minus 7x minus 60. Okay, so now I need to factor negative 60. Well, the factors of negative 60, let's see if we can jump out and get this one right off the bat. Let's see if 3 times negative 20, that would not be it, because that would give me a negative 17. So let's go 4 times 15. So 4 times a negative 15 would give me a negative 11. So that's not it. And let's see. We can go 5 and negative 12. And so 5 times negative 12 would give me a negative 7. And so this would be it. And you can see sometimes it gets a little bit tougher. And had I needed a positive 7, then I simply would have reduced the negative and the positive. But this is going to work right here. So this gives me x plus 5 and x minus 12. So I factored my new problem. So that was step 2. Step 3 is we come back and divide. And so what did I multiply by? Well, I multiplied by 2, so now I've got to come back and divide by 2. So this gives me x plus 5 over 2 and x minus, and 12 divided by 2 would give me 6. And then to finish up, we take our denominator and we move it in front of our variable, and this gives me 2x plus 5 and x minus 6. And those are my factors. Once again, we ended up having a kind of more of a difficult problem to factor here. And so if you struggle factoring, you may want to use a calculator to help you out. Okay, so another problem. We're going to slide this over and get x squared minus 17x And then 6 times 12 is 72. So plus 72. And we're going to have to try to find our factors of 72 that equal negative 17. I don't think 1 and 72 are going to work. 2 and 36 probably aren't going to work. Let's see. Let's go 3 and 24. And I need a negative 17, so I would want negative 3 and negative 24. That equals negative 27. So that's not it. And then we can go 4 and 18. Okay. Well, 4 and 18 makes negative 22, so that's not going to be it. And then we can go 6 and 12. Okay, so negative 6, negative 12 gives me a negative 18. So that's not it. And we can go 8. Unfortunately, 8 and 9, duh. 8 and 9. And so 8 and 9 makes negative 17. Sometimes a little bit difficult to get these factors, and even I struggled thinking what negative 8 times negative 9 was, or negative 8 times something that equaled 72. So we get x minus 8 and x minus 9. And then now we've got to go back and we've got to divide by whatever we multiplied by in the beginning. So we're going to divide both of these by 6. Now, neither of these work out evenly, and so we're going to have to reduce our fractions here. So this is x minus 4 over 3 and x minus 3 over 2. Because I have fractions, I have to take the denominator and move both of these over. And so my final answer is going to be 3x minus 4 and 2x minus 3. A little bit more difficult factoring, but definitely something that we can do.